What is up? What's up? What's up? It's Tuesday, 9:30, episode 29, and we have Joey D here from
What's up,
meteoric
man?
serpents. How's it going, bud?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm not so bad, not so bad. I actually got my very first sponsor today. So up
Really?
in that corner over there, there is a other one. Yep, that one.
There we
Green Line Morse. My buddy Jay. We've been conversating back and forth. Good dude. And he decided to sponsor me, and I'm like, I'm not even really looking for sponsorships, and the like kind of ideal came up between him and I, and bam, like yeah, I got a sponsor. There's going
Awesome.
to be a second one coming up. Holly from Texoma. We're kind of in talks with sponsors. I would have put her up here, but I can't figure out how to get two icons up top. I'm not that tech savvy yet. Now I could do a background. I figured out how to, but I didn't have enough time today. So Texoma, Holly will be another one of our sponsors. So feel like I'm moving up in the world a little bit.
That's awesome.
Heck, I had KG in my chat last time. I felt like special. I'm like, look, holy shit, KG's in my chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Joey, I don't know if you're familiar with how I do things, but I kind of look up Wharf Market on air and read the news, and it's been pretty dead. There hasn't been really nothing in news. So I went around the community and just looked for topics. And this first topic we're going to touch base on is something that's been coming up quite a bit in chats and or even shows, and that's the size of what is a good size to ship a snake. And then I kind of went further with that and say, okay, so what is a good size to take a snake to these shows? And then what is a good size to, say, okay, if this is just going down the road to my buddy, when could you let those go?
Right.
And so what is your opinion on all that? Like, what is a good shipping size? I mean, the industry standard is 100 grams.
Yeah.
I think that's about spot on. What do you say about that?
So 100 to 120 is something like I've been hearing. As I think I'm kind of newer to the breeding scene, so I haven't really sold many snakes yet. I actually just hatched my first ball python clutch, so
Me too,
that's
bud.
coming. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's coming up soon. But no, I definitely agree with you to a certain extent. So I think there's leeway, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way. I think if an animal is doing well, eating voraciously, I always think like 6 to 8 meals is a good base for an animal to be ready to go to a new home. In my opinion, 6 to 8 meals makes an animal established. And I haven't thought about it that way much with ball pythons, but since you started talking about it and, with the show size and stuff like that, and I think we're going to get into it later, but I came from a world of colubrids,
Right.
and that's what eventually segued me into the ball python world. And I see a lot of colubrids on some of these show tables that are super, super tiny. They look
Right.
like they just came out of the egg. Like I hatched colubrids earlier this year that were bigger out of the egg than some of these animals that I see on these tables sometimes. So
Right.
I'm just like, well, how many meals have these animals had? Are they fresh out of the egg? Have they had 1 or 2 meals? I genuinely think, that 6 to 8 meal mark is a good place to say that animal is doing well, it's thriving, and, it could be ready to go into a new home. However, if you hatch a ball python, at like, I don't know, 40 grams, you hatch a really small animal, maybe you want to hold on to it a little bit longer. But so there's always gives and takes on it. But I do think the amount of meals should be taken into consideration as well.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I wanted to talk about this, because like there are, some of these snakes that are born in boob eggs and just small eggs in general that might come out at like, 20 something, 30 something grams. And 10 mils later, they're only like 80 grams. I mean, they're growing consistently. And I think it's a conversation that needs to happen between breeder and seller. And the breeder just needs to be, 100% sure that snake's, can make the trip. I mean, you could tell if a snake's healthy or not. You know what I mean? You could look at that snake and tell by, well, at least I can. You know, if
Yeah.
they're hot, if they want something. You know what I mean? Like you could tell by their body language, and
Yeah.
I pay close attention to body language.
Yeah.
Now, with taking them to shows, I do think there is a little less leeway because you're not putting them in a box. They're not going up in a plane and you know down and changing you know barometric pressures and shit. And like basically they can be shipped across the United States in a night. You know what I mean? I think that's a lot for a hatchling that just, you know, might hasn't taken off yet. But a local show, I mean, if the snake's established, I don't really see a problem with it. But I will agree with what you said on the colubrids. I mean, I've seen corn snakes, you know, but or what are they called? The what the hell? Hognose. There they are. Hognose. That is as big as my pinky. You know what I mean? Or fat, not even as fat as my pinky. And like, man, if that thing should even be here, I don't know about it to say yes or no. You know what I mean? But it just always made me wonder. But I think the parameters are even less if you're trading with a friend. You know what I mean? If that snake's only going 10 miles down the road, you know, and it's ate 3 or 4 times, and you know the person is going to take care of it. I mean, that I could see letting go maybe, you know, 60, 70, 80 grams. But it still kind of follows what I feel show parameter ones are.
Yeah. It's tough. I really feel it's on a case-to-case basis. I feel like there's no, you know, set in stone thing you could say because it's nature we're dealing with. Everything is variable, and we all know that as breeders. There's so many variables in every equation, every breeding that happens. So, and every animal is a little bit different. So I think it has to work on a case-to-case basis. And I could even say, you know, talking about something that was shipped. So earlier this year, and I'm not going to name names, I bought an animal from a bigger breeder, but it was an animal I really wanted. But you know, the animal was probably a month old when I inquired and purchased it. And I received that animal, and guess what? It took off. It ate no problem. Because guess what? It probably had a few meals and got itself established. I don't think that bigger breeder would have sold an animal that wasn't doing too hot. If it wasn't. So, you know, I think everyone has to look at it on a case to case. However, if you're trying to get your name established, I don't think you should be. I think you should be a little more wary about the stuff you're, you know, trying to put out. I think the bigger the better. Someone said it in the chat, bigger the better is the way to go. Even someone like myself, you know, starting out selling and stuff, even to local friends, I want to make sure these animals are getting established if anyone decides to buy them. So I got to make a name for myself and do the right thing by the animals.
Kind of how I feel. Do the right thing by the animals. If you think that animal is safe enough to go with your friend, you know, then, you know, there isn't a problem if it's under 100 grams. But I mean, you said a mouthful. You said it all in a wrap. Basically, it's a case by case basis. If that snake was born at, you know, 20 grams and it's 3 months later and it's like 65 grams, but it's eating consistently, it's pooping, it's shedding, you know, why not let it go? I mean, if it's consistently eating, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, case by case, I kind of think that the industry got uptight about it, you know, real quick. And there's definitely some cases where snakes are more than fine to be shipped out at less than 100 grams. I mean,
so there's stuff about hatchlings, and then there's another to be said about like maintenance feeding, which I know a few of my buddies are kind of hot about right now, and you see it a lot in the industry. I think that's an even bigger problem than sending out hatchlings that aren't established enough. Is people not realizing that, you know, you're inquiring and purchasing on 1 to 2 year old animals that have not been fed sufficiently.
And then that's where an eating issue comes from. You know, it's not used to eating weekly, and you're getting it trying to grow and expecting it to eat weekly when it was eating monthly or, you know, every 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. Or just super tiny meals that it's not doing a sufficient job to help the animal grow.
All right, well, before we get into the next topic, we're going to do some shout outs before I get too far behind and forget people. Trips, what's up? That's my dude, 666. Nick, he's a good dude. Clown Scientist Gage, how's it going, dude? Dylan from Kaiju, what up? There's our sponsor, Green Line. Military associate. He's got his website. He's got everything set up for when hatchlings go. This guy's going to hit the ground rolling. Just watch out for that dude. He's got a lot of stuff in the future.
I think I spoke to him on Instagram recently too.
Dave from Synergy, you all know what I think about Dave. He's just a good guy. What's up, Dave? Victory Lane, nice to see you. Wiz, what's up, Wiz? You got your co-host up here now.
That's my dog.
I had him on a couple weeks ago. I mean, awesome show. Good dude. Morbiz, what's up, dude? Alex M, thanks for coming in. Eric's More Factory, what up?
Eric.
Thanks for coming in. North Star, how you doing tonight? Hope all is well.
Seeing a lot of my V Unit and Wiz Tang family clan all in the building, so appreciate you guys.
They do support. Pressure Pythons, Justin. How's it going, dude? Buddy Kent, what's up, Kent? How's it going tonight? I don't know. When I'm on the live with Kent, like, I can't say his name. Like, Ken comes out. Like, I don't know. I want to say my name for some reason. Like, I did it 10 times the other night. I'm like, it's Kent, dumbass. Just say it right. But this next topic kind of, like, a sore one with me. It kind of pissed me off when I seen it. But Tipping Scales, like, released this video of, like, people in Florida finding groups of ball pythons, like, in the wild. Yeah. And then there's a report that a park near Pittsburgh found a group of ball pythons in the wild. And, dude, like, I want to start researching this. I want to start, like, looking at the snakes, see if I could find them anywhere. Like, I want to go all out, and I want to hold these people accountable because that there is too far.
Yep. Just a little bit about, so I heard about that recently. The ones in Florida, at least. Pittsburgh is definitely interesting, being up north like that. They're very clearly someone's pets, or they were someone's pets that got dumped to some extent. Because they're morphs. They're literal identifiable morphs that are out on the streets. I saw albinos, like champagnes, like literal combos. Like, what are you doing? But the interesting thing that I found about all of them is that they were found in neighborhoods, on people's, like, driveways, under their cars. So that means that they were recently put there when they were found.
Yeah.
Now I know people, like, I'll give him a shout out. My boy MJ, he talked about it, and I think Donnie did a little bit about it too. But, you know, just to go into it, you know, how there were some of those YouTubers that were literally planting animals to capture. It almost makes you wonder, you know, if people, like, almost did it on purpose. Because, again,
it was definitely done on purpose. Someone did this intentionally.
Well, yeah, definitely intentionally. But it was the point that they weren't found, like, in grass. Like, they didn't make their way to the trees. Like, Florida is swampy. It's full of brush. Like, it's all this wildlife and whatever. But instead, people found them on their driveways.
In their home.
You would think that they're going to zoom straight for the grass and never be seen again. I mean, you have to go into the Everglades to really find these Burmese pythons that everyone talks about. You don't really just find them out on a normal city street here in Florida. Like, the people that think that that's what it is, that's not. Because, I mean, I've lived here for 2 years now, and I've yet to see a Burmese python.
Right.
So I don't know. Are they planted to make a big deal out of something? I don't know. So then you become a conspiracy theorist. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and I'm also not quite sure if they'd survive here, to be honest. I'm not sure that they'd thrive 100%.
Now, FWC, they released a thing on it, and they called ball pythons invasive. Like, they're already throwing that invasive word there, and these are small instances of some dumbass people, because they're dumbasses. Like, there's no other way around it. This was some dumbass person that decided that was the best thing for these things to set them loose.
Yeah, listen, I'm trying to apply for my class 3 right now, so I'm not gonna slander FWC on live
Okay,
YouTube,
hey, I
but,
mean,
I don't I'm not saying yes or no, but I don't know. I can't say that I know, and we won't know until something more comes
yeah,
of it.
you have the right to that opinion, and I'll never judge you on any opinion you may have. But it got me thinking. Now, is this the lawmakers actually setting these animals loose to
Yeah,
try to sabotage this? This whitelist is just now getting out there. Well, here, let's throw these ball pythons on there so they end up on this whitelist. And really get a reaction, because if ball pythons end up on any of these lists, I think that's kind of going to what is needed to pull us all together.
yeah.
Because there's your retic breeders, there's your berms, and your other big snakes, and your venomous. But I think ball python breeders outnumber them all.
100%. I mean, you look at morph market numbers. I mean, the ball python is the most popular reptile pet in the world.
Yes,
There's nothing close to it. Um, just sheer numbers that are out there. There's nothing that comes close to it.
invasive in their tax returns. Yeah, I'm just, that just blew my mind. There was at least 3 instances. Now, the one in Florida, I couldn't find out if it was 2 separate instances or the 22 that was captured, because one was in a Prairie Lake community and one was in Cape Cod. So I don't know how close them 2 communities are together, but when I looked it up, it's like 13, 14 miles apart. So I really
Cape
don't think
Coral, I think you meant. Yeah, I think one
they're
was in
Camp
Cape
Coral. Yeah,
Coral. Yeah, yeah. I think one was in Cape Coral, and I don't remember the other one. I want to say the other one was on the East Coast.
I have it
Somewhere
written down. Let
west
me find
Pacific
it here.
Coast.
No,
I
St.
could be wrong.
Augustine.
Yeah, St. Augustine. So that's here on the East Coast, but like far north. And then Cape Coral is Southwest Florida. So it's actually like 2 separate corners.
Yeah, so that's what I seen. Like when I seen the 2 cities. Yeah, Cape Coral. When I seen the 2 cities, I was like, man, that's pretty far apart, because
Yeah.
one I looked at, it made it sound like it was the same incidents, and then when I looked at that, I looked further and seen it was 2 separate instances, and then I found the one in Pittsburgh, and that really blew my mind.
Yeah. I mean, you hear cases of like, you know, assholes releasing their pets anywhere. Like, you just may or may not hear about it. It happens
Okay.
all the time. So it could have been 2 coincidences where 2 assholes decided to release their pets out, or it could have been something more. But
What's up,
uh,
Elias?
we really we don't know.
I mean, are we really not out there enough for someone that don't know what to do? Say they had a relative who died and he had those snakes. Are we really not out there enough to where the person that don't care about reptiles, don't know anything about any of this, and we're not, like, we got to
Well,
start.
unfortunately, that I think that's part of the problem is that not everyone's connected the way like me and you are on social
Yeah,
media. I mean, there are reptile people out there that are solely pet owners and have zero grasp of the industry that me and you call ourselves a part of. Like they just keep
right.
pets to have pets. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a disconnect. It's just people don't know what they don't know.
I was I try to catch a little bit of everything around it. I was on Adam from Proper Royals Live before we went live tonight, and he had KG on,
Mhm.
and that's what KG was saying. He's out there, taking a snake and putting it around his neck, and shaking hands and talking to people about it. And yeah, we all need to do that. We all need to just kind of get out there and reach out to the community and show the community that these things are
Yeah.
harmless. These things are our pets.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my goal with my YouTube channel to plug it a little bit. But like I try to make
By the way,
videos.
dude.
I try to make videos to be attractive to both other reptile keepers and my friends because I know my friends in this community watch my
What's up,
stuff.
John?
but also for
right,
the people on the outside. Like, I know my outside friends actually watch my videos, and they compliment my videos and they think it's cool too. So I think that's super important, just the education, and that's something I've always been a part of, or I've been like big on is education, and showing people how cool it is and how
right,
excited it makes me to keep these animals and do what I'm doing.
exactly. And image, like the image of it all. Like we don't need to show, for instance, I seen this post on Instagram tonight as well, and there was a guy taking a Sharpie, jamming a rat down a snake's mouth. I
Yeah,
mean, if you have to resort to that, I mean, that's something you don't need to show everybody. That
yeah,
is not something that's going to appeal to the people that don't like snakes in the first place. You know, we need to
yeah,
think about image. I mean, I preach it. I'm working on my image. I'm like constantly trying to improve it, and I
yeah.
think it's something that we all need to work on.
Yeah, even speaking of image, like live feeding videos, man. I nowadays on Instagram, I unfollow them, even if like I mean, most of these people I don't really know like on a personal level, but I unfollow the accounts right away. I don't care who it is.
Right?
I don't want it on my feed. I don't want to support it. Me following is me supporting it, whether I like it or not. So
Right?
uh, if my
I
unfollow,
posted.
whatever that does, it probably doesn't make a difference, but that's my opinion on it.
Well, that makes a difference to me because I posted one live feeding video, and my friend Nick 666, he had an adult to adult conversation with me about why he didn't think it was right, and
Yep,
it turned a light bulb on in my head.
yep,
And I haven't went down and removed it yet. And after you saying that tonight, I'm going to go remove it. I mean,
yeah.
there's. I just don't
I
think
didn't
there's a
mean
place for it.
I didn't mean any offense by that, but
No,
like,
not taken, none at all.
and some people don't know. Some people when they're new, like they think it's cool and they just don't understand. So again, I just think the
Or
learning
don't know,
aspect is a big thing.
right?
Again, that's where the education, I think it's so important.
Exactly. So, yeah, that was my community thing. Then we get on in some questions.
Yeah.
But the first question is just simple: how long you been working with these reptiles?
Yeah, so I've been keeping now for 12 and a half years. I actually
Wow.
still have my first snake. So I started off with Texas rat snakes. I know you said you did a little more research on my page and you saw some of the
Yeah.
colubrids on there and whatnot. So it's not all ball pythons here. I do keep
No.
colubrids as well. I'm still breeding them too. I had a nice clutch pop out this year with some cool stuff genetic wise that not many other people are working with that species. But yeah, the Texas rat was my first thing. I was 10 years old at the time, and we were
Nice.
in my local we were in my local pet shop with my dad, and I was like, there was this snake there for $35. I'm like, Dad, I want that, and he bought it for me. And guess what? I still have her here today, and that just took me down the world of these reptiles.
So you kind of answered the second question I got, but what all species are you specifically working with there?
Yeah, so it's now expanded to five. um, so we got ball pythons, we have the Texas rat snakes, and then we have it's
What up,
technically
Justin?
two subspecies of the same species. So it's the bamboo rat snake, it's Oreocryptophis porphyracea, and then I have the cockeye subspecies and the violenti subspecies. I just got into those. I've had the cockeye for a bit. I got a second one, and then I got the violenti up at Daytona, which I'm excited to work with. Those are a lesser common species that are not worked with. It was the one I posted the other day that I think that's what made you look at my page and you were like, oh shit,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yep,
had seen that, and I was like, well, I got to look up on him anyways, and it just grabbed my attention. That thing was
yeah,
just neon, like
yeah.
glowing.
They're amazing. I gotta take more videos of the new ones outside in some real light. The light box does enhance them a little bit. But the adult female I have of the one is looks crazy. I bring it out on all the shows I'm on, but like she's insane looking. You can't top that look. It's bright orange with the black racing
Yeah.
stripes going down the back. I mean, that it's just an amazing animal, and that's how they occur naturally. So it's
Wow.
awesome. And last species, my brother, when we were at Daytona, we got a couple crested geckos. I've been wanting those guys for a little bit, so those are cool. I like
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty unique crested geckos at
Yeah.
just different shows. Like it seems like line breeding these things gives the specific breeder its own look almost, because this guy has this going on and this guy has this going on. It's just something I noticed with crested geckos, and I think a lot of these morphs are going to start coming out, and it's going to blow up. But my opinion, maybe not.
Yeah. No, I mean the crested geckos are big right now. They're super hot. So that's helping the industry as well. It's not just snakes.
All right. So, what social media platforms do you have? Shout yourself out. Anything you do, like with the V Unit or the Reptiles-Kenn, get it all out there.
Yeah. So I am on Instagram, obviously, meteoric serpents. I am on Facebook as well. I do have a Morph Market account, and I have a couple animals posted on there. Again, it's meteoric serpents on everything. You can find me there. I do have a YouTube channel that I started within the last few months. I'm excited to be doing that. I've been loving it so far. If you want to go subscribe to me, I'd really appreciate it. Working my way towards that
Go do
1,000.
it.
I passed. I'm at around 320 right now, which is pretty cool in the short amount of time I've been doing it. So
What up, dude?
it's been pretty cool. I've been debating starting TikTok. I'm not on there yet with the snake related stuff, but yeah, just Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Morph Market. That's the gist of it. And then yeah, I'm in those other a couple of those social media groups, V Unit, Wistan Clan. I'm in the Trap Talk Patreon. Those are all my homies. So I support my people.
Right on. Right on. So, what is a short-term goal with the reptiles?
Oh man. Short term, just keep working with what I love and expanding a little bit. I still live at home with my parents. I'm only 22.
You go kind of young,
Yeah. I'm only 22, so working with the limited space I have and just trying to make the best out of my projects, honestly. It came to my mind recently that I may have to cut down on a couple snakes to really work with what I'm starting to get passionate about. So
Yeah, I came
some
to that
stuff that's not,
realization.
yeah, some stuff is not truly furthering what I want to do, my goals. So I think I'd rather have the space for stuff that is. So I think that's important for everyone too, because if it's not making you happy, then you shouldn't be doing it in the first place, especially when we're talking about living things.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
a reality check. I realized I'm like, maybe I need to do something. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving it, and I've expanded heavily in the last 2 years. I only had 5 snakes when I moved to Florida just over 2 years ago,
Right.
and now with like hatchlings, I'm inching close to 40.
Nice. So, and alluding to that question, how does your parents handle all the reptiles? Like, I
Hold
mean,
on,
you said your
you were
dad,
lagging.
bought one.
You were lagging a little bit. Can you repeat that?
How far, or how do your parents accept the reptiles?
So not greatly, but they're starting to see the vision a little bit more. I will admit, and I've told them, when we moved down here, we bought a rack system for the snakes that I had, and I had those snakes in there, but I had extra room in those racks, and I started adding more snakes to the collection without them knowing. So I was sneaking snakes into the house. And I finally told them, and I was like, hey, look, this is what I want to do. This is my vision. I laid it all out to them, literally in a PowerPoint presentation to my dad. I'm
No
like,
way.
look, I was like, hey, look at this. I'm like, this is a business. This is what I want to do. And I'm quite serious about it. So I really want to take it far because it's something I'm super passionate about. Probably more than most things. I think my parents think I'm a little obsessive, but I think it's a good obsession because
Yeah,
No, I have a vision with it. I think I have a clear head.
that seems to happen a lot in this hobby. Like someone like me, like in 2022, early 2022, I didn't like snakes. But come March of 2022, I got my first snake. Like just within a week of my daughter showing me this video, I knew instantly when I seen egg cutting and seen the excitement of people cutting these eggs. Like Fred and AJ, like their first egg cutting video, AJ's like shaking with excitement. And it's like I want to do that.
Oh,
And like
I was shaking. I shake when I hold my snakes. My mom goes, Joe, in every single video, you're shaking. I'm like, I'm not trying to. Like, I think part of it is excitement, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't intend to. But yeah, it's funny.
they bring a sense of adrenaline and excitement that, and that's kind of what this has been for me in my journey. Like I was a drug addict for most of my life. At the age of 40, I just said I'm done with this. I'm 40. I'm just going to walk away from it. Like I walked away from lifestyle, the friends, everything. I had no friends. I was kind of bored with life. And then my daughter shows me these egg cutting videos, and I'm like, I want to do it. And
Yeah,
I blew it up.
That's great, man. That's
I
great.
blew it up. So,
Yeah.
next question. What is the long-term goal with the reptiles? Say 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
Long term, I mean, look, everyone says they want to be able to do this full time, and I think that would be really cool. But I also like to be realistic with it. I'm young. Um, I have a girlfriend, hopefully, eventually looking to start a family eventually. So I have to keep my priorities in check.
Right.
The animals will definitely expand, but I don't know about that full-time thing. It would be a cool idea, but it would have to really be bringing
Successful.
in,
Yeah.
it would have to be super successful. But also with that, in 10 years I hope to be working with some more passion species. I hoping I'd be at the point where I could do things, stuff that I'm passionate about, but like also like the ball pythons have a little more monetary value than some of the other snakes I'm working with, like the colubrids. I mean, they're not crazy expensive. They're
But
not,
they're cool.
but yeah, but they're cool, and it's something I'm passionate about because that's how I started, and that's what I started researching these animals when I was a teenager. So, keeping some of those animals or looking to keep some of them in the future is something I'd hope to do because, again, like I said, if you're not passionate and you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong, and maybe you shouldn't be keeping these animals. I say it a lot on the YouTube stuff I do, but it's 1000% true. If the day you're not having fun is the day you should drop it.
Exactly. I can't agree more with that. So, what is one animal that you would like to hit with what you have now?
Hopefully in this coming year, Mojave hypo puzzle.
Mojave hypo puzzle. Yeah, hypo puzzle stuff's nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I have the potential ingredients for that. Working with there's a couple possets in there, so hoping to prove a couple of these animals out and seeing what I could do there. But yeah, I've become heavily, I don't want to say heavily, but I've become invested into the hypo puzzle project. So that's the project I'm the most excited about, and it's something that's still kind of new. I think it's ground floor, so I'm happy to be in it with where I'm at, and I think there's a lot of expansion to come with it.
Heck yeah, I'd agree. Like not too many people's working. I mean, it's becoming more popular to people's working hypo puzzle. You might see like 15 to 20 of these things like on Morph Market.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I've done. Like I went through my collection and I've seen like what isn't there much on Morph Market of, and I'm trying to kind of curve to what's not out there, what's not available. You're not competing with 500 snakes. You're only competing with maybe 50 at most. And I really hope that at least helps me grow this company in the beginning. Because once you get a name for yourself, you get a name. It seems pretty easy. once you get established. But getting established isn't so easy, and you got to do the right things, the right projects. Get lucky a little, and
luck
go with it.
luck is definitely a big factor.
Yeah, I meditate a lot, and I started meditating more to the snake odds gods.
Yeah, you gotta hope them odds hit.
Yeah, well, this first clutch of mine, like I have this leopard clown that came from a grim pairing. It was in a pairing, and it just looks a little darker. It just don't quite look like a leopard clown.
Okay.
And they called it a pos grim at first, then pulled it off, and just called it a leopard. And well, I'll be damned. I think this thing just gave me a leopard double-headed xanthic clown. And I'm like, there's nothing granidy in this combination. The only thing that was in here is leopard, and that's not leopard. I think it's grim. And okay. I think it proved out. Now there's a couple more clutches coming from him this year, and I'm really excited about. There's another one that's in the incubator now. October 15th is its cut date, but it was to mahogany Mojave het clown het hypo. So if I get like a grim mahogany clown, like hell yeah, that's gonna look cool.
Yeah,
we'll see. Fingers are still crossed because I'm not quite convinced yet that it is grim, but they're still crossed. So what is one animal that you would love to add to your collection?
Either a visual hypo puzzle male or a puzzle het hypo with some codoms. That'll round out the breeding projects. Hopefully I could produce one for myself, but I would like to add one with a gene that's not that I don't have in that project yet.
Right.
I'm on the hunt for something, and I haven't quite found it. I've been messaging just about everyone I can, asking, and there's nothing yet. So I'm waiting for the right animal to come across, because once it does, then I'll be pulling the trigger on it.
Right. I haven't seen lace in an orange ghost form. So that is one of my behind the scenes projects that I'm working on, is trying to get a white lace orange ghost. I think it's just gonna blow up. I think it's gonna be awesome. Maybe it might not, because orange ghost kind of whites out calico, and it's hard to notice calico in orange ghost. So maybe it'll suck. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't. So, what is one superpower you wish you could have?
Oh man, I ran track in college, so I'll take running fast, like super speed, like the Flash.
What up, Luke? Flash speed. Yeah, I mean, well, hell, you wouldn't have to drive nowhere. You could just be like, I'm going to the Daytona show. I'm back. Exactly. I got a snake. Yep. Mine's always invisible, but speed's that would be pretty cool.
Invisible's cool.
Yeah, but I would have to be quite deceitful. Like, I mean, like I said on the air before, if I'm invisible and want money, just walk into the bank and there's floating money walking out. Do you think they're going to stop it? I mean, after a while, I think my conscience would bother me too bad with it. So I'd probably take flying now.
Flying's a good one too.
You could pick someone up and charge them like an Uber, fly them around. You don't have to stop at red lights. Charge premium rates.
Yep.
What up, Gage? All right, where are we at here? Okay, so this next question, my daughter kind of watches the show, listens to the show. My oldest one, Mercedes, and she came to me and she said, "Dad, you should ask this question." Okay. So this is the first week I'm going to ask it. But what is one animal that you would like to bring back from extinction?
Ooh, from extinction. You did provide me questions, but not all of them I 100% had answers for. So this one, tricky.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
I mean, a freaking dinosaur would be cool.
Yeah, but I mean, make sure it's a leaf eater, not like a raptor. Like,
I mean, but a velociraptor would be pretty cool.
yeah, it would be pretty cool, especially if it was like your homeboy and your pet. Like that would just be awesome. Like have a
Yeah.
pet velociraptor. Like, insane.
Damn. Hmm.
I'm waiting for someone to say like a Titan boa because man, could you imagine like a 100-foot snake?
I think a saber-toothed tiger would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Cool one.
Yeah.
Or a woolly mammoth, you know.
They already got woolly mammoths. Like honestly, there was a company or a science company or whatever in Russia, and if you look at this,
I think I heard about this.
Yeah, look up on it. There is a place in Siberia like that they have kind of penned off, and they have woolly mammoths in there, and it's just like holy
legit,
shit.
they have them.
Yeah, they already have them, and that was from like in 2015 when certain parts of Siberia started unfreezing because of climate change. They found a woolly mammoth carcass with hair and meat and DNA still fresh on it. Now these mofos have woolly mammoths running around in Siberia.
Damn, that's crazy.
So the technology's there. We can create shit.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like cloning, I think cloning could absolutely be done. I think growth it can be accelerated, and if you had enough money, you could have a second you like in 4 or 5 years. That's just as old as you, looks like you, talks like you, acts, walks, everything.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, but I think it is a reality that not too many people think about.
Yeah.
This is the Snake Show. We don't need to getting into conspiracy theories and all that. We have before, and weird shit starts happening. So no conspiracy theory talk here.
All right.
So, all right, what are 3 people that have passed that you would love to have a dinner with?
Oh man, my grandpa's one. Man, this is tough. 2 more people.
I could start humming the Jeopardy tune if that makes you think better.
give me someone like someone crazy like Babe Ruth.
Right.
See what it was like playing baseball back then and being the illest mofo in the game.
Right. He was like the biggest star, like around that time. Like everybody knew who he was. Like he was, what today's, I don't know, like a famous person. I don't know, one of these famous rappers or whatever. Like or pop R&B singers. Like he was the most famous one.
Yeah. And give me someone like Abe Lincoln. I think that would be interesting, just historically.
John from Beeley's Clutch said Jesus, and I'm like, well, talk about getting some answers at that table. Yeah. I mean, there would be a lot of questions, and I don't think there'd be much eating.
Probably.
I'd be asking like, all kinds of shit. He'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Like, I ain't answering no more.
Yeah.
All right. So, you're stuck on a deserted island. What 5 people would you want with you?
I'm going to take my dad, number 1. I'll take my brother 2. Give me like Bear Grylls. I think he's essential. Let's go with, so that's 3. Give me like The Rock. You need severe muscle.
And comedy, because that dude's funny too.
Yeah, just in case. One more person. Damn. You said comedy. Let's do someone funny.
Right.
Keep the laughter going. Oh man.
Keep the morale up.
Give me Dave Chappelle.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be pretty funny. Funny crowd. Jokes. I was thinking Kevin Hart, because Kevin Hart and Rock already have that movie out.
Kevin Hart's in there too. He was up there.
That would just be funny. Did you
There would
see?
be too many short people though, because my dad, my brother, and I make up. We're trying to survive. We need
You need tall people.
yeah, we need some. That's why I needed Bear Grylls and The Rock.
Just watching shorts and stuff, going through YouTube and stuff. I seen that Kevin Hart challenged this ex NFL player to like a race, a 40-yard dash race, and Kevin Hart pulled like a muscle or something. Like he had this whole dramatic thing playing out, like he's in the hospital, like I gotta be in a wheelchair now. And you know how Kevin Hart is; he was clowning around,
Yeah.
and they made him leave the hospital in a wheelchair. He was on the way home. He was like, "Do I really got to deal with this thing?" Like it was pretty funny. Man. I guess you have to watch it. But it was pretty funny. Sorry, this next question. You kind of already answered it earlier, but maybe this might sway you.
Yeah.
But you hit the Powerball for hundreds of millions of dollars. How far are you taking the reptiles with that?
Oh man. You said 100 mil?
Yeah, 100 mil.
You could do a lot with that.
You could do a lot with that. Yeah.
I'd probably again, like I said, I wouldn't just go around and buy pointless stuff.
No, it would be calculated.
You could buy a lot of animals with 100 mil. It would be calculated. I'd probably get myself like a facility,
Right.
Like a decent size, but like not super crazy. It has to be something manageable. I'm not trying to become the biggest snake dealer in the country or anything. But I do some cool stuff, and again, keep some more species that I don't currently keep. I'd love to, again, educate myself and explore and expand. So, ball pythons definitely on the monetary side, and there's some cool projects I'd love to get into. But yeah, again, just some dream species, passion projects like that. Maybe some new kinds of animals that I would have never thought of keeping, just to test myself a little bit.
Right. Now, another thing that KG said earlier that I just wanted to throw out there because it's genius is, everyone always says about, wanting to work nothing but double and triple recessives and, have all these high-end animals. But you kind of need the lower-end ones too, because those are the ones that pays the bills. Those are the ones that feed your snakes. You kind of need to build your collection to represent everybody. And that's kind of how I built my collection. I have my high-end hits that I could hit, $10,000, $15,000 snakes. I have my, $3,000 or $4,000 hits. And then I have my misses and the $200, $300, $400, elite combo cool looking snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm big on elite combos. Like I love them. I love them. Supers and elite combos, like they're my jam. I want to make double elite and supers of a third, elite complex, and
gotcha.
I do some crazy shit with it. I hope some good shit comes out.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely think that's a good mentality to have. But the other thing I also think about is just as a newer person into the game, sometimes it's hard, like making those pet animals could be hard when you're competing against the biggest names out there.
Yeah.
So for example, if I make a Belle, a blue-eyed Lucy, right? If I made one and I put it up on Morph Market to compete against the hundreds of others there, someone like, and I'll say him, my buddy Emilio. Emilio makes bells for people all day long, and he sells those, and he does fantastic making those animals. But guess what? I can't compete against someone like Emilio, who has a outstanding Morph Market reputation and has a name and is super established. So I think people have to be strategic. I'm also working on a smaller scale than most, so I'm trying to make my projects count where they can. Maybe in the future, I'll have a little more edge into looking onto some of the more pet quality. I also think, when you're shooting for high end, some of your misses wind up being pet value animals. So it all goes there, and even the clutch I just produced. I mean, it's a bunch of 100% het DGs, and I came out with mostly males. And guess what? They may not sell for all that much, but there's I'd say they're like decent level investment animals. They may not even be pet animals,
Right.
because I hit some combos on there, so they may not even be low priced enough for pet keepers. Those people are looking for $50 to $300 animals. So I don't know. It just all depends on what you're trying to do with it and where you are with your collection and your limitations there.
Right. I get that.
I can only speak for myself, obviously, and my thoughts and my experience with it.
Yep. Absolutely. The next question is another fun one. But oh no, that $20,000 snake you just made got loose in your house. How far are you going to find it?
Oh man.
I mean, now you live in mom and dad's house, so you might have to be secretive about this.
Oh yeah. Listen, I mean, my collection's in my garage. If that animal gets out, I don't know how the hell it's getting found. That's number one.
Right.
I'm gonna try real hard, but I need a piece of wood. I don't have wood, so I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna say. But I don't really get.
I knocked on it for you.
I don't let snakes escape. I don't know. I'm super careful. My racks, they stay closed. They're always closed. If I'm not there, those mofos are closed. So I don't know.
That's me, Luke. The house has come down.
Yeah. I think people have to be careful when it comes to escapees, because I hear about it all the time. And I just wonder, how does it happen? Unless we're talking about really small snakes, but I find it hard for ball pythons to get out of these tubs, some of these tubs.
Yeah, I just had one get loose, and like they can't get out of the tubs, but I have like a plastic tub up top that's kind of like quarantine, or if like I got a pair up there, and if it's a single snake, they can't get out. But I put the water bowl in there because they was pairing, so I put a water bowl in, like left it out for a couple of days, put it back in, and they both jumped in there, and I could see them, and I was like, they're gonna push together and push that lid up. I caught it, but I was just like, I don't know. I ain't worried about it. Well, he got loose, he got out, and he was right there in the rack, like right there in the same area. They don't go far.
No,
so,
especially ball pythons. They're not. They, you know how they are. They want to be in their tight, confined spaces.
Right.
So a ball python's not going to go far. We're talking a colubrid. That thing might be gone. You might be saying goodbye. But your $20,000 ball python, I think you have a better chance of finding than most other species.
I've only had 2 get out so far, but I mean, it happens. I mean,
yeah.
And it was just for me not staying diligent, trusting them, so that rose my alert. Now it's just like, okay, all right, mofos, I got you.
I always think about it. So as long as you have all the tubs all the way pushed back to the back wall, I mean, just thinking of the physics, they have to generate so much force, unless there's another way for them to like somehow wriggle their way through the top. They have to generate so much force to literally push the tub open to be able to get out. And I don't think they could get enough force in that tight, confined space.
Right.
So, like, they'd have to literally headbutt the tub open. So I don't know.
I think what they do is they kind of wedge themselves off the top corner right by the drawer and kind of roll it open and keep flexing until it rolls and they get enough and go out. I've seen my trying to do that one time, and now I put like a spacer underneath the top so they can't do it.
Gotcha.
What's up, Shanky girl? How's it going? All right, where are we at? Okay, if you could spend a week anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I'm going to go Greece.
Greece? Cool.
That's one place I want to go. It looks beautiful.
All right. That's nice. I mean, I've seen a little bit of pictures of Greece. My girlfriend, her family's Greek, so they kind of looked into it, and It's beautiful country over there.
Yeah, it looks real nice. I've done the whole Caribbean thing a lot for vacations. The islands are cool, but I live in Florida now, so it's pretty much I live on it
Yeah, it's
basically.
pretty much the same.
I live in it. So yeah, I think the Greek, like Europe in general, is someplace I want to go see. I haven't been over there.
That'd be fun. I mean, of course, my day would be a little bit different now than it would be 20 years ago, but I'd still like to go to Amsterdam.
Okay.
I mean, I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd spend more time in the red light district this time, or less. Who knows? Okay, so last question I have for you, and then we got a couple quickie questions. But what is one breeder that you would like to work a project with?
Ooh. I'm gonna stick with my hypo puzzle thing because that's something I've been working on, and I bought a couple snakes from him. Dale from Constricted Reptiles. I mean, he has some killer
Yeah,
stuff
he
in the
does.
project. Again, I bought a couple snakes from him. I think we'll probably be talking quite a bit about this project for years to come. We've become friends. He's like semi-local to me. He's another Florida guy. So,
Right.
yeah, that would be cool.
That's another thing that people don't realize. When you get into this, there's more people doing this than you realize. I guarantee you could find at least 3 or 4 breeders near you. Like when I got into this, it took me a while, but I know like of at least 7 or 8 breeders within a half hour from my house.
Well, so that's what happened with me when I got into it. I don't mean to go on a long tangent, but it was me. I joined the Trap Talk Patreon, and that's how I met Brock from Morphinary Arts. He's become one of my very close friends in this game. He lives 20 minutes from me. That's how I found out, because I was talking about how I live in Florida, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in the town right here." I'm like, "Oh shit, man!" I'm like, "You're 20 minutes from me." So it's awesome, and there's a group of us around here, as I'm sure I think or you've heard maybe, but yeah, the Florida group is super deep, and Florida is a hot spot in general. So it may be a bad example, but it's the point.
Well, hey, PA, we representing well in PA too with these ball pythons. They're everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And all right, I like to keep things right at about an hour, so maybe 6 months or so, you'd want to come back. We got about 2 or 3 minutes left. I got a couple quickie questions, and if there's anything else you want to shout out, then it's the time to do it.
Yeah.
But Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I like
Neither?
Sprite.
I'll accept that answer. I mean, I'm starting to get the mentality that I want to give pop-up in general and put water there, because, I mean, I've been drinking a lot of water, and I've been feeling a lot better. So
yeah, I drink soda sometimes, but I'm mostly a water drinker.
Yeah.
Water, yeah. I used to drink soda like once a day when I was like young, and I cut that. I'm a water guy.
Sprite sucks. My daughter likes Sprite, so take it easy. Okay, BK or McDonald's?
McDonald's, all day.
So, say your brother gets married, you're at the wedding reception. Are you dancing, not dancing, or slow dance only?
I'm most likely not dancing.
See, I'm that idiot that's jumping around everywhere, that looks drunk as hell but sober. That's just me. I'm
my
there to make
girlfriend
everyone
will
laugh.
probably be there, so I'd probably slow dance only. But I'm not a dancer.
I can't dance. Now, don't get that wrong. I can't dance. I look funny as hell, and that's why I do it, because I'm uncoordinated. I can't dance, and now I'm fat, too. I got a hell of a gut on me, so it even looks 10 times funnier. But what's up, Jesus, however you want to say it? What up? Okay, next question. Skydiving or no way?
I'd do it. Yeah, skydiving.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last question I got for you, what is one game show all time that you would like to be a contestant on?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's a good one.
Listen, I watch Jeopardy, and there will be some episodes where I'll get like a solid 5 questions, and they're not the most like easy answers either. It's just
Huh?
like knowledge that I've learned, whether it's from school or something like pop culture or something. And I'm like, oh shit, I know that. But those people are hella smart. I couldn't actually compete. But for the 5 questions I might get right,
Right?
it would be fun.
Like if there was a sports category that comes up, I'm like, I would have beat him on a button. I would have beat him on a button. But
Yeah,
like,
it's not even like that because I'm not like a huge sports guy. Like I like baseball and I'm not even like super like crazy knowledgeable about it. It'll be the most random
random
ones.
shit.
Yeah, that I just happen to know.
Yeah, like that's my pick. It'd be Bob Barker, Price is Right. Like it would have to be the Bob Barker because Drew Carey just don't cut it for me. I tried to watch it. It ain't the same.
Yeah, or you know what? Family Feud would be fun.
Yeah, with a
Those
couple of the
those
family
people
members.
those people give some dumbass answers on that
Oh
show.
my god! But just think,
I think it
you're in
I
the
it's
spur of the moment.
either scripted or staged. Nah, there's no way. I'm like, you hear some of those answers and you're like, there's no way that's the first thing you thought of. You have
You
all
think?
this time to like when they're standing there and they're going down the line for each
Yeah,
one, like they have all that time to decide and they'll still say something so dumb.
I get that, but I think a lot of people get nervous and they don't want to say something stupid and end up saying the most stupidest thing they could have.
Maybe.
That's just how it is. All right, we've made it to an hour. If you want to shout out anything, it's your time to do it.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone that came out and supported me. Thank you, Ken, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
If you want to see some more of me, feel free to go follow me on social media. Instagram is where I am the most, and then I've been doing the YouTube quite a bit. So meteoric serpents on everything. That's meteoric serpents. Just about anywhere you go search it, you'll find me. And reach out if you want to talk. If you heard anything you like to hear, I know some of my friends are here, so they hear me all day. But yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
But
All right,
thank you again,
Joe.
man. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for being a part of my journey. You've been a great guest. Like I said, I'd like to keep it at an hour, so maybe in 6 months we can get you
Yeah.
back on. Chat.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. Also, I'm doing a Thursday show now. The Thursday is pretty much a definite at 9 o'clock with my group of guys. We're called the RWO. Nick, Dragos, Kent is involved. Stan's been coming on. Justin for Pressure Pythons popped up there. It's funny, we just joke around and talk, it's a good show. RWO for live. All right, guys. Till next week, the LMK show. We'll let you know. Later.
Peace.